really, really hard to get. So people like my mother, they commandeered these. They made curtains, they made lingerie, but the most exotic thing they've made, and they made a lot of them, was the parachute wedding dress. And that's made out of a parachute. Pretty creative, wouldn't you say? Well, Alaska winters are brutal. They're absolutely brutal, especially when you go up north. They're dry and very, very cold temperatures. When you go down the southeast, they're wet, and the temperatures aren't so cold, but the wind is blowing across the glaciers, so it's really, really cold. Arctic wear has certainly changed, as you well know. This is my dad, and nothing like this you can find now. It's much more streamlined with Gore-Tex, but that's what you had to wear then. And we had to always cover our mouth and nose, because otherwise they said you breathe in the cold air, it would freeze your lungs, and when you freeze your lungs, they said it's like freezing lettuce, and then you get to spend the rest of your life in Arizona. You can't live there anymore. But this was a fire that broke out in 1949 or so in downtown Fairbanks. Obviously a vintage photo, but it's very interesting. The fire truck froze to the street. The fire hose froze to the street. When they tried to put it out, the water would freeze as it was going up, and that poor fellow up there must be cryogenically preserved. And it took them about 3 days to put it out. So the winters are really, really brutal. But the summers, they are absolutely amazing. And someone said to me, "You're showing these wonderful pictures of the sunshine. Are we going to get it? It's iffy, but we hope for the best." But we also picnic by these rushing Arctic rivers, and we witnessed the Native American wheel, they call it, the fish wheel, they call it. And it's illegal for us, but it's legal for them. And this is what they did with the salmon they caught. They actually fed it to their dogs. So what you don't want to buy when you buy salmon is chum. Don't buy chum. It's not what you want. We visited ghost towns, which just 40 or 50 years before, or less than that actually, 35 years before, had been boom towns. And now maybe 1 or 2 people live there in these cheap log cabins and so forth. We went to the gold mine, which was still working. And in the southeast, they did stamp mining. In Alaska, up in the north, they did placer mining. And they're blasting it down with a hydraulic jack and then putting it through this and finding the gold. Now, the interesting thing, when you're looking at world history, we just see a short section here. But this next picture shows that things have not always been the same. In fact, well, just a number of years ago, as the ice was continuing to melt, they discovered a quick frozen baby mastodon. They said they could actually have eaten meat. So some of these glaciers, we'll talk about this later, but they just were moving, galloping, they call. And so they found evidence of the prehistoric life, to say the least. Now, this is an interesting picture, and I'd like some audience participation on this one. Just shout out where